Okay, let's just get right into it. For the past, 2 years, there's been this one single story dominating the tech world, and it's the narrative of Google, the sleeping giant, the old guard, just getting absolutely left in the dust by all these nimble AI startups. But you know what? That story is about to get a major rewrite. You've heard this one a million times, right? The whole idea that the company was just, too big, too old, too bureaucratic to really adapt to this crazy new age of generative AI. And then there was this one. The argument here was that its corporate culture, just its sheer size, made it literally impossible to innovate at the speed you need to compete in this race. And this was the final nail in the coffin. This was the consensus, the idea that Google had just fundamentally fumbled its lead and was now stuck playing this desperate, pathetic game of catch-up. Well, let me be perfectly clear. If you are still telling that story, you are not just wrong, you are missing what might be the single biggest comeback story in the history of tech. Because if you actually look past the headlines, if you get past all the noise, a completely new picture starts to emerge. While the whole world was watching the hype cycle churn, Google was quietly, methodically building the foundation to win. Let's actually dig into how. Now, let's be real for a second. This is not some easy fight. The competition out there is absolutely fierce. We're talking about a war waged by titans with trillions with a T of dollars at stake. I mean, just look at the field. You've got Microsoft spending billions building entire cities of data centers trying to lock down the enterprise market. You've got Meta playing 4D chess, snatching up the best researchers and open sourcing its llama models. OpenAI, I mean, they started this whole firestorm. Anthropic has completely captured the hearts and minds of developers. And then you have xAI moving at just lightning speed. It is an incredible battlefield. But here's the thing. While all of these titans were out there making these huge, very public moves to try and claim the AI crown, Google was taking a totally different approach. They were quietly in the background, building the very throne that the crown sits on. So how did they pull this off? How did they manage to completely flip the script in just 1 year? Well, they did it by methodically aiming for total dominance in every single key vertical. Let's break it down. All right, first, let's talk about the models themselves, the brains of the operation. With Gemini 3 Pro, Google is now consistently a top performer in raw reasoning and encoding. I mean, they're going toe-to-toe with the absolute best from competitors like Anthropic. And yeah, the leaderboards, they change every week, but Google is now a constant name at the very top. Then you have the hardware advantage. This is huge. While pretty much every other competitor is paying what we call the NVIDIA tax for GPUs, Google is building its own custom silicon, their TPUs. By controlling the entire stack, from the chip all the way up to the software, they get this massive, long-term compounding advantage in both cost and efficiency. And hey, this isn't just some theory in a lab, it is happening in the real world. I mean, just look at Waymo. It's now a common sight driving around major cities. This isn't a demo, folks. This is millions of miles of real-world, autonomous driving, proving they can take this incredibly complex AI and scale it into practical, everyday applications. And finally, of course, let's talk about the money. Google has something that its startup rivals just don't, and that's a war chest that basically never runs out. They can fund experimentation and these massive infrastructure builds pretty much forever without constantly worrying about where the next round of venture capital is coming from. But look, all that raw tech, that's really only half the story. Google's real killer advantage, their secret sauce, it isn't a single chatbot. It is integration. This is how they build an absolutely unstoppable consumer moat. Just think about a totally normal workflow for a second. You start drafting an email in Gmail, the AI seamlessly pulls a document from your drive, you then pop over to Notebook LM to analyze it, and then you cap it all off by generating a quick summary video with Veo. It's a completely seamless experience that standalone products, they just can't replicate. It's not possible. And we have to talk about the quality of these creative tools. I mean, my gosh. Tools like VO3 for video are now producing content that is so stunningly realistic that it's becoming almost indistinguishable from reality. And that isn't just a cool technical achievement. That is a major cultural shift. And on a personal note, this shift is very real. As a developer myself, I've literally watched my own tech stack migrate. I'm actively moving my services away from competitors and onto Google Cloud and its AI platform, Vertex AI. And why am I doing that? It's simple. The products are better, they're more reliable, and the pricing just works. And this right here, this is the key to their new strategy. Everyone thought the future was going to be startups building these little wrappers on top of Google's products. So, what was Google's response? They're building everything natively, right into the core experience. Live translation in Google Meet? Boom, it's built in. They didn't wait around for some startup to disrupt them. They chose to disrupt themselves first. So, this brings us to the final big question. With all of this evidence piling up, does this make them an inevitable winner? Well, to answer that, I think we have to totally reframe what winning this AI war actually means. Let's get real. The state-of-the-art model changes every Tuesday. Winning is not about being on top of some leaderboard for 1 week. Winning is about having the absolute best infrastructure to build and serve those models, the best distribution channels to get them into the hands of billions of users, and of course, the deepest pockets to outlast every single other player on the field. So I'll just leave you with this one thought. If Google continues to play offense, if they keep shipping fast, integrating their AI deeply into the products that we all use every single day, and leaning hard into their massive custom silicon advantage, is there any other company in the entire world that's actually in a better position to win? I'm bullish. The question is, are you?